Welcome. This is probably going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. I understand. It's very confusing. I want you to take a second, take a deep breath. In, out. Now close your eyes. In, out.
I don't care what they do, and I don't care what they know, and I don't care what they say about me now. No one can touch me now. I'm just flying by.
Yo, I'm back. Feeling pretty good today, so let's get this started. Alright, so where do I begin about this one? It's interesting because this is a phenomenon that started from a game. Way back when, the year was 2005, and this was a spin-off of the mainline Pokemon series, and not the pinball, not the stadium games. This was a completely different game with a whole new formula, whole new game type of format, and they went from there. So to advertise it, Nintendo went out and had a anime made for it. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Team Go-Getters Out of the Gate. This aired on Cartoon Network. And it depicted a boy who wakes up seeing a Charmander after being transformed into a Squirtle, and it starts his adventures in the world of Pokemon. Now, you're probably wondering yourself, why the flip am I even talking about? Well, I was going to talk about a specific Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but rather, I would say that I should talk about it as a genre itself, because it's basically, that's what it's transformed into. A whole genre of comics, all within the umbrella of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. A world in which humans and Pokemon have been separated, and Pokemon exist in a society of all their own. Schools, houses, facilities, teachers, you name it, the Pokemon have managed to develop this themselves. Now, why would I separate this from an individual comic? Well, that's because the sheer number of comics that have spawned because of this. And if you don't believe me, you can Milo's From Home, Shinka the Last Eevee, Gigi Sky's Nuzlocke, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Hanging in a Balance, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gleaming Hearts. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of the number of comics that have been spawned from this. There's been a number of compendium and groups who've gotten together and started producing comics based on the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon franchise. So, I guess I should talk about that. Now, at this point, if you haven't heard of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, you've lived under a rock and you should feel bad. You should feel oh so bad. Shame on you. I now induce shame. It was super effective. Come at me, we can take this outside. Let's go. Ha! The very nature of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon as a spin-off could be used as well, a palate cleanser as you will from the mainline series. If you've watched the mainline series like I have, you could pretty much understand why this palate cleanser is oh so much necessary. Because new guy who doesn't do anything has a majestic catcher capable of catching legendary Pokemon. Yeah. And our boy Ash can't have one. But enough about my gripes. Let us talk about the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon as a comic genre. Now, it all usually tends to start out in the same, where a human wakes up with a serious hole in their memory as a Pokemon, and they meet up with another Pokemon who then they make a rescue team with. Now, that's the basic format, but over the years, people have branched out and started creating their own storylines and beginnings from it. Some of them as simple as one of my favorites before it was rebooted. Shinka the Last Eevee had a Eevee who woke up with no memory, who ends up becoming roommates with a Quilava who has a very special trait that allows her fire to change with her emotions. The primary story is that there is a evil Pokemon organization looking to harness the power of the evolution Pokemon, Eevee being one of them, and he is the last known Eevee that hasn't evolved, so they grab him and whisk him off. Before that, he evolves into a Leafeon, and the story goes from there, where his friend gathers a group together to go rescue him, but it was canceled and it was rebooted. So I'll leave the new one up to you so you can check that one out. There's another one that's pretty long running, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Victory Fire, that goes around the premise of the person being brought into the world with no memory, but there's also a second person there who has also been changed into a Pokemon because of his misdeeds towards a Pokemon partner of his own, and he was punished by being changed into a Pokemon. And the story follows them, their connection, and the actions of Team Plasma and their involvement with the liberation of Pokemon and all of the crazy stuff that they've done in the in-between. That's another read that I think you should add to your list. It's currently on hiatus, but there's enough of a backlog that you can definitely go and check it out and have enough of a good reading to kill time until it starts updating again. But back to brass tacks. This started way back in 2005 with the game, then the anime, and it spawned, I guess you could call it a phenomenon or a cascading effect where more people started seeing the broad world that they were given that they could write within, from the unique characters to compelling storylines. A lot of the things that people have created within the scope of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is honestly incredible, which in itself is interesting because as it is in its basic form, there's not really a whole lot to it story-wise, other than, hey, you became a Pokemon, saved the world, and that's it. But these people out there, these creators that have done this, they fleshed out entire unique universes, entire worlds based around the idea of Pokemon existing in a society. And that's allowed them to create truly, truly unique individual stories that will draw in anyone who has a passing fancy with Pokemon or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon in general. I mean, the amounts of fan fictions, fan art, and, ideas that encompass this have, exploded, and it's incredible to see of what's being made. And I genuinely believe that you folks should go out there and actually give these a read. I will, without a doubt, link some that I've come across in the description so you guys can go out there and read them. Of course, I will add the updated links and, and old archives of the ones that I feel like are relevant. And much like before, you can go out and find them on your favorite comic reading site, Tapas, Comic Fury, you name it. There's a good chance they'll be there. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to let you stew on it. Rather than talk about a singular comic, I think I've touched enough about the genre as a whole that will, be curious enough that you want to go out there and check it out. And if that doesn't help, maybe some imagery will too. But you've been inundated since the very beginning. But enough of that. All right, I'm gonna head out. You guys enjoy your holiday, and don't forget to keep on reading and like what you do and do what you like. All right, peace out. Have a good one.